Okay, we're back. We're gonna do Copter Tactics now. Imagine we're gonna get introduced to some of the basic flying unit. It's gonna probably be a transport copter and maybe I'm skipping dialogue because I'm over talking it. I think it's safe to assume that they have massive production capabilities. Pulled some strings and had some B-copters, so battle copters and transport copters sent out from the front lines, but it doesn't give you all that much more firepower. But it's pretty damn good for medium tanks, because medium tanks do non-cannon fire. They do machine gun fire to air units. Nevertheless, let's make good use of them. I'll give you more details once we reach the staging area. Let's move out. Copter Tactics. We'll learn all about copters. So, Olaf is one shrewd guy. Look at the units he's deployed. He's always one step ahead of us. I didn't think he'd have any air units. I guess I underestimated him again. But as suspected, he deployed a number of medium tanks. A frontal attack would be reckless. Sure would be. And as always, we need to defeat all the enemy units or capture the AQ. Looking at all of units, I think we only have one true option. So if some way you brute forced your way through the last mission, they're more or less making you do a capture here. So the basic strategy for this, if I'm not mistaken, is we're going to load up the transport copter, go over to where the HQ is, drop it, and then on by turn 3 we'd have it completely captured. However, we'll have to keep an eye out for the battlecopter, as well as if the medium tanks get sent that direction. First, can you select this infantry? Yes, we're going to load up the helicopter. The enemy HQ is right below you. But the infantry units can't cross overseas. It might be possible to march there. With all those enemies, this is where the transcopter comes in handy. You remember the APC? Like APC, transportcopters can carry infantry and mech units, but also like APC, they have no weapons and can't fire. Unlike APCs, they can't reload your unit's fuel and weaponry either. So we're gonna load it up. Good. You loaded your troops. Now select the transport copter, which is what we're doing. Now look where it can move. That's right, transport copters can move overseas. Plus, the movement cost is the same over all terrain types, but they don't get any terrain bonuses, which I guess goes without saying. Okay, let's move it down here. Alright, and we're going to just drop it, the infantry right on top of the base. This is the only place you can drop the troop now. Do you know why? Well, because we just went over a sea. We didn't, unlike rivers, we can't drop an infantry. We could drop an infantry into rivers, but we can't drop it into the sea. And there are tile spaces called shoals that allow landers to land on, but the particular space directly above the transport copter is not a shoal. This is the only place you can drop the troops. Do you know why? Infantries can move on the ocean. That's correct. You can only drop infantry on the terrain they can move across. Don't forget that. You should check to see which terrain can drop infantry units. Remember how to check terrain, right? Move the cursor, press the R button, give it a try. Okay, let's test the battlecopter's capabilities. Select it. Alright, so it's not going to give me free reign yet. Battlecopter is an air unit just like the transport copter. This terrain doesn't affect its movement range. Air units aren't affected by terrain bonuses either, which makes sense since they're always flying. As for attacking power, well, you should check it out for yourself. This tank is in a perfect spot. Let's test the B-copter. Big butt copter. Fire. So we're going to do 50% damage, and we're probably going to take very little damage. Like I said, they can only do machine gun fire, which isn't very effective. Aren't they powerful? Battlecopters are even effective versus tanks. Plus, Their superior movement capabilities, they're easy to deploy. Now let's tell you a little more about the new copter units. As you know, they're both air units. All other units you've used up to this point have been ground units. Since air units are always flying, they use fuel every day. Battle and transport copters use 2 fuel per day. Don't worry about remembering that exact number though. Keep in mind that they burn fuel every day. Now you know all you need to know about the new units, right? I'm leaving the rest up to you. If you want some strategic advice. Pay careful attention to the enemy battlecopter and medium tank. All we have to go toe-to-toe with them are our battlecopters, so play safe and keep them out of the attack range as necessary. Other than that, don't forget to capture the enemy HQ. Tomorrow, I'm sure Olaf hasn't considered the possibility it could be captured so early on. Good luck. So basically, we want to see where this lands, and we're going to move it back. We're going to actually just move everything back. Like this, so that this will actually be detrimental. So we're going to move all the way back here, because I don't want to take a first hit on from the tank. And then there are no anti-air units, and this is the only one I really should be worried about for the battlecopter. Now obviously if I take damage from multiple tanks or multiple infantry units, eventually they will whittle this down. But the main concern is the battlecopter itself, because it'll be rockets, or battlecopter rockets versus battlecopter rockets, and you'll take a pretty decent beating. Ha ha ha! I see Nell hasn't deployed any medium tanks. Go, my troops! This time nothing can stand in our way of victory. I still took damage because I wasn't paying attention. Ugh. Alright, so the medium tanks are coming my way, but there's an interesting little thing they didn't bother to figure out. It doesn't look like Nell's gonna tell me, but I can use the battlecopter to block the incoming enemy tanks. And I don't believe they can... Oh, yep, looks like they can initially reach me. But they will not be able to do enough damage in time, and my guy is just going to capture. So what we definitely need to do here is I need to deal damage to this battlecopter. You're going to see why you definitely want to attack with battlecopters first. They are a bit of a glass cannon, where if you attack with them first, you greatly reduce the damage that you're going to end up taking on your side. So we're going to even this up a little bit here. In terms of war score, I can't remember super great if, losing expensive units over you losing, cheap infantry units are preferable in terms of war score. It may just be strictly the number of units. So I'm only going to take one. I'm going to lose this tank here. Because this guy can't reach me, this guy can't reach me. He's obviously going to get there regardless. So I'm going to lose either this unit or this unit. And there's not really anything I can do about it. Maybe then. Nope. That would also kill the APC. Well, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. I'm on cities here. And like I said, it's not really going to make too much difference here in a turn anyways. Because this copter is not going to be able to do enough damage to take out the... I wonder if this is even necessary, to be honest. I mean, sure, the unit didn't die, so I'm not going to get penalized for it one way or the other. but I can't imagine the medium tank would have done all that, gotten there. I think the only thing I really had to do was damage the battlecopter. Hard to say, though. So it looks like everybody survived. It looks like I didn't actually lose anybody, so we're just gonna, for fun, kicks and giggles, we're gonna pop you here and we're gonna deal some damage. So that'll kill that guy. And we'll see if we can clean up any other units just for, like I said, kicks and giggles. It'd have to be this medium tank. I can't deal enough damage to anybody else and get, you know, obviously far enough out. Push you back. Deal 13 damage here. 13 damage here. So it's not actually going to kill either one. I mean, they're not going to kill combined attack, so we'll just capture the base. I kind of wonder about the use before, but Olaf typically makes terrible use of his units. It doesn't matter how good your units are if you don't know how to use them. Anyways, let me tell you a little bit more about those new air units. Even if you land them on allied cities and HQs, they won't recover HP or supplied with fuel or ammunition. You haven't seen it yet, but you can only resupply air units in airport. Run low on fuel or ammo, you can always restock them using an APC, just like land units. Now, keep up the good work. Now, that's always sort of weird. Not necessarily for copters, because copters obviously could, in reality, land on the ground and you can refuel them, restock them. The jets and the bombers are the ones where using the APC to refuel them is kind of silly. You know, obviously if you pulled a ship up next to an APC along the coast, they could be resupplied by an APC, but let's not think of it too much. My HQ has been stormed. Now, you troublesome little jerk. You saw that you couldn't survive a frontal assault and you pulled this out of your hat. Grr. This isn't over yet. Way to go, Chris! You won! We did it! Yay! Perfect S rank. A rank, I mean. Right. Save the data, you bet. Alright, we're gonna